When life gets unpredictable, preparation matters. In medicine, it's all about staying alert, ready for whatever comes through the door. On the road, it's no different. That's why Volvo designs vehicles to help anticipate risk, reduce harm, and protect lives. The Volvo XC90's advanced safety systems inspire confident decisions wherever the road takes you. The Volvo XC90, for life. Proud sponsor of the Pit Podcast. Learn more at volvocars.ca/safety.
So we know it just by looking at the sales numbers. Quebecers truly are interested in electric vehicles. And I know a lot of people are saying to themselves, the EV rebate in Quebec is going to be reduced as of next year, going from $7,000 to $4,000. And so people are like, oh, maybe I should buy an EV now. With that in mind, we've asked Daniel Breton, the president and CEO of Electric Mobility Canada, to join us in studio this morning. And we are taking your calls about EVs, so you can give me a call at 514-790-0800. Daniel's book is called The 50 Myths and Half-Truths About Electric Vehicles. Daniel, welcome in studio. You've been on the show many times, but great to see you in person.
I'm so glad to be here with you.
So tell me why you had to write a book like this.
Well, in 2016, in one of my books about EVs, I had approximately 12 pages to debunk some EV myths. And I was naive enough to think by 2024, I wouldn't have anything more to say about this.
Yeah.
But it's actually the opposite. The more EVs get popular, the more bad information, misinformation, and disinformation is being shared in the media. Not just social media, but regular media as well. So that's why I felt I needed to write that book.
What did the latest numbers tell us? And let's focus on Quebec. This is our market, about the sales for EVs, because I see doom and gloom headlines. Oh, sales of EVs have stalled. Sales of EVs are crumbling. What does the data tell us?
Data. So according to S&P Global's latest number published about a week ago, EV sales in Quebec were above 28%. So we are ahead of the curve, meaning that we were supposed to reach that target in about a year and a half or so. In Canada, we're at 12.9% for Q2 of 2024. And according to S&P, yet again, so Canada should be at 30% by 2026, which is 50% higher than the federal government's target of 20%.
Gotcha. So trending ahead of targets.
Yes.
Is there a worry that you mentioned? That's incredible, by the way. We're already at 28% of new vehicles sold are electric in Quebec.
Yeah.
Is there a worry, though, once the rebates go away, the sales tumble?
Might plummet. Too early to tell. I know that when BC decided to go from a $7,000 rebate to a $4,000 rebate 3 years ago, EV sales kept going up.
Okay.
So it's hard to tell. I think that sales next year will still be good. After that, it's going to be 2,000. I don't have that answer yet, but one thing I think is very important is that car manufacturers are supposed to come with new models on the market, which are going to be the affordable ones.
Okay. So
the entry-level electric vehicles.
Let's talk about cost. And the calls are coming in. We're going to get to our listeners in a second. But off the top, cost.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is this in the book here? 50
Yes.
myths. Electric vehicles are expensive. What would you
Yes.
say?
Actually, new cars are expensive, not electric and gas, because the price of gas vehicles have gone up significantly in the past 5 years. The vast majority of car manufacturers have decided to stop offering entry-level gas cars. So a basic Honda Civic nowadays is $30,000. So they're not cheap anymore. So my point is that when you look at total cost of ownership, if you compare an electric car with a comparable gas car, more and more of them are actually getting really reasonable, There is approximately 50 different models of EVs and PHEVs that are available now with the federal rebate below the average selling price of a new car, which is $66,800 in June of 2024 across Canada, which is, I find it crazy.
That's the thing. All cars now are expensive.
Yeah, it is. It is an issue.
Okay, let me go to Wayne here. Wayne's in Montreal. He's got a question. Hi, Wayne.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. What's your question for Danielle?
Well, I have a RAV4 Prime, and I was just wondering about the plug because, like, I just came back from holidays, and all the time I stopped to try to charge it, my plug doesn't fit in those chargers. Do they have an adapter for that?
No, because of the fact that you bought a plug-in hybrid and not a full electric vehicles, You cannot plug on fast chargers. That's the way PHEVs are made, except for the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV and the Land Rover. But all the rest of all the PHEVs, they cannot plug at a fast charger.
You know what, Danielle, I did not know that. I did not know that PHEVs can only do the slower level 2 charging.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been the case since the beginning.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks very much, Wayne, for the phone call. Let me go to Alan in Côte St. Luc. Hi, Alan.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen. My background is I'm a licensed electrician, service technical. I have two small questions. One is, why aren't, as an option, instead of a sunroof, they put solar cells on the roof to charge the battery anytime it's exposed to enough light, whether it's driving or parked? And the other thing is, I remember reading about motors that can drive the wheels, but when you apply the brake, they become generators, and they slow down the vehicle using that motor. Now, why isn't that available as an option?
Okay, so let's tackle. Thanks for the call, Alan. We're going to tackle both of those now. So let's do the Why doesn't the roof charge the car with solar panels?
Actually,
first?
Some cars do have solar panels on the roof, a few models, but it doesn't make that big a difference. As for the motor that turns into a generator,
yes.
Well, it's actually the case for all electric cars already.
This is the regenerative braking that a lot of EVs have, right?
Exactly.
Gotcha. So that is a feature, but not all manufacturers are the same on that front, right? Like some don't, like obviously,
no, all of them,
all of them,
hybrid, plug-in hybrid, electric. When you put, either just decelerate or you push on the brakes, it does bring energy back to the battery.
Okay, very good. Let me go to Bill in the West Island. He's got a question. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Elias. I just have a question regarding the amount of kilometers you can get on the electric for the plug-in hybrid. It seems to be very low.
Well, that's a very interesting question, because between 2011 and 2023, so in the span of 12 years, the median range of electric vehicles has increased fourfold.
4 times larger now. Okay.
At the same time, the median range of plug-in hybrid electric vehicles has almost not evolved. 12 years ago, I had a Chevy Volt. I had 64 kilometers of range. Yeah. And now if you were to buy, let's say, Toyota Prius Prime, you would get about 72 kilometers of range. So in 12 years, I find that's not enough. So let's face it, plug-in hybrids should do a lot better than that, but they don't. Okay,
and thanks for the call, Bill. I guess the question that I have for you, because I get this a lot, I'm not going to go fully electric. I'm just going to get a plug-in hybrid vehicle.
Yeah.
You must hear the same thing. What's your advice to someone that is like, I'm thinking of either electric or plug-in hybrid? What do you advice do you give them?
I am not against plug-in hybrids. I mean, if people are nervous about charging infrastructure, they don't know how to find the level 2 or fast chargers, I get it. So some people might as well just start with a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, and that's as a joke, sometimes we say that the plug-in hybrids are the gateway drug to EVs.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, after a number of years, people say, I'm just going to go electric for the next vehicle.
Mm-hmm. You realize every morning you wake up and you've got 70 kilometers of range. You realize, you know what? If my next car had 400 or 500 kilometers of range, I'd be even better off.
And especially in the winter, because when it's really cold, you can have your battery totally full, but the gas engine will start anyway.
All right, if you want to get a question in about electric vehicles, we've got Daniel Breton in studio, just published the book, 50 Myths and Half-Truths About Electric Vehicles. So you can give me a call, 514-790-0800, and we will try and squeeze your question in. Daniel, before I get back to our phone lines, I just want to mention a couple of these examples in the book. One myth, right? Canada's a big country.
Yeah.
EV is not made for a big country like Canada.
Yeah, that's a funny one, because as you know, a lot of people wake up in the morning in Halifax and drive to work to Vancouver. The truth of the matter is that according to StatsCan data, in 2016, 91% of Canadians drove 35 kilometers or less to get to work. The average kilometers driven in Canada is approximately 15,000 kilometers, which is actually 20% less than in 2000. So people drive less with their cars now. They do less kilometers. So this idea that because we live in a large territory that how many people do you know that drive from Montreal to Vancouver with most people fly nowadays.
Okay, so listen, obviously, my daily commute, if I'm doing 10, 15 kilometers, not a deal. But what about the road trippers? What do you say to someone who does lots of road trips and they say EV is not good enough?
Like me?
Yeah. Well, tell us.
I do approximately 50,000 kilometers a year with my EV or different EVs.
Yeah.
And I just drove almost 4,000 kilometers going to Halifax, Charlottetown, Fredericton, Gaspésie, and back. There was no issue. And I was not driving a Tesla because some people might ask. I was driving a Nissan Ariya. Everything went fine. The fast charger, all of them worked perfectly, except for the Petro-Canada network because it's not a good charging network, I'm sorry to say.
Okay, so for the most part, the charging did work out as well.
Flow, Circuit Électrique, New Brunswick Power, Electrify Canada, everything worked fine.
Well, that's good to hear because obviously, I from first-hand experience, I'd known the Tesla Supercharge network is amazing, but I'd heard some bad things at times about competing networks.
Absolutely, and some networks are still not up at the level where they should be, but there's a lot more pressure now to make sure that they are reliable. I'm working on it myself because I'm the co-chair of the Charging Infrastructure Working Group with Transport Canada.
Gotcha.
So I talk to them to make sure that their networks are reliable.
Let me go back to our lines, and we go to Ahmad in Montreal. Hi, Ahmad. What's your question?
Hi, I have a 2024 hybrid Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. On dashboard, there are many options, normal, EV, save, charge.
Yes.
My question is, what's the best way when driving to save gas? Which option you recommend me to opt to when I drive?
Great question. So many vehicles now have these different modes, right?
Yeah.
Not just the Mitsubishi there. Well, what's your...
It's a bit complicated to explain on the air because it depends on where you drive. If you drive on the highway or if you drive in the city. If you drive in the city, you do a lot of back and forth, stop and go. I would use electric mode all the time. If you go on the highway, and on the highway it's where the gas engine can be more efficient, I would use the hybrid mode.
Gotcha. So it depends on the type of driving you're doing, city versus highway.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks very much for the call, Ahmad. Listen, I took the book out here and I flipped to a random page. Okay. And I love this one. So the 23rd out of the 50 myths, the 23rd. Electric vehicles are more at risk of fire than gasoline vehicles. Tell us the truth on that.
The truth is very simple. It's actually the opposite. According to the latest data, depending on the studies that we see, gas vehicles are between 30 to 60 times more at risk of catching fire than electric vehicles per 100,000 vehicles. So it's completely false. And it's funny because, if I look at data last year from the U.S. Department of Fires, more than 150,000 vehicle fires happened last year in the U.S. alone. So it cannot make the headlines because all we'd see in the news would be car fires.
Who would think driving around with a gigantic tank of gasoline could lead to fires?
Exactly.
Right? It's just unbelievable. Okay, let me go to Helen here. Helen, what's your question?
Hi, I'm almost retired, so I hardly make any mileage anymore, about 5,000 kilometers a year, and I maybe use my car 2-3 days a week. Is it true that, if you don't use your battery all the time, the battery's going to die?
It's true for the 12-volt acid-lead battery, the old battery that you have in front of your car. The lithium-ion battery, if you let the car plugged in, there's no issue at all. Gotcha. I've been driving. I've had a 2001 hybrid vehicle, so it's almost 25 years old now, and the battery's still going.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
But the 12-volt battery, yes, if you don't drive it, it is going to die. You're right.
Okay, Helen, thanks very much for your question. Let me just ask you this. Is there, Helen does 5,000 kilometers a year, right? Is there an amount of kilometers per year where you really should, for the gas savings alone, you should be considering electric over gas?
Well, it depends on the vehicle that you drive currently or the vehicle that you're interested in, because from one brand to another, from one model, one size to another, it really depends. If you're talking entry-level cars, might as well keep your car. But if you're talking, intermediate size or larger vehicle, even if you don't drive a lot, if you want to change your car, better off going electric.
Yeah, because those things use so much gas. Let me go to, is it Shugu? Am I saying that right? Shugu?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're saying right. Thank you so much for taking my call.
What's your question?
The question is that, I do recently purchase a new Equinox 2024.
What? Sorry, which car?
Equinox, Chevrolet Equinox.
Yes.
Equinox.
Yeah, exactly. And that's is only 2 months, and I did already 6,500 kilometers. But when I try to go to see that to charge the stations, like different stations, they have a different pricing. Like a Flow, they're charging 70 cents per minute, 70 cents per kilowatt, and some of them 43 cents per kilowatt. And I don't know. I mean, like you said, Petro-Canada, forget it, because they are very expensive and it's only limited 1 hour, and it's very bad. But the other stuff is okay. But I'm wondering, where to go and how to find those things.
So why is the pricing so different, right? As Shugu's mentioning,
from one network to another. Yeah. Well, it depends on many factors. Just like a gas station, some gas stations, the price of gas is more expensive. So from one company to another, they decided to charge a different price. We're talking fast chargers here, not level 2 chargers.
Level 3, yes, exactly.
Okay, so if we're talking fast chargers, if you are in Quebec, if you are in Ontario, in some regions in Ontario, the electricity is cheaper than other regions because you have many utilities. And then if you are a member of the network, let's say you're a member of Electrify Canada, you get a better price than if you are not a member. So all of this makes things a bit complicated, but it's going to get a lot simpler as time goes on because, and I mentioned this in the book, we're slowly, well, actually not that slowly, we're transitioning to what we call plug and charge. Like the Tesla network. If you have a Tesla, you don't have to go to the app and look for the price.
You just plug in and it's automatic.
Exactly. So all the cars and all the networks are going to be there between, I'd say, now and the next 3 or 4 years.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks very much for the call, Shugu. Listen, I'm going to ask you one last one that came in on the text line, which I hear a lot, a common myth. You have an electric car, the battery goes, it's $10,000 to replace that battery. Let's talk about how long the batteries last and how much it costs to replace.
Okay. So the batteries are made to last longer than the vehicle nowadays. But if there's a defect and there's no more warranty, you can get the battery fixed. Not all dealers do that. Not all garages can do that, but some garages who are specialized can do it. But I'll tell you about a story. I did an interview a couple of weeks ago about this gentleman in Ontario who bought a used Chevy Volt.
Yeah.
And he went to the dealership because he had an issue with the car. And the dealer said to him, the battery's dead. You're going to have to change the battery. It's $33,000.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
So, first of all, it doesn't make sense because I know the price of a Chevy Volt battery. It's about $12,000. So, the guy from the owner of the Chevy Volt called the media. Media called GM. GM went to see the car, and they said all they needed was an over-the-air update. That was it.
Free.
So the issue, was not the price of the battery. It was the competency of the garage. And that's an issue. That's why we have to look for specialized garages who dedicate themselves to fixing EVs.
And no other EVs and one charger, $33,000 when it's a free
And they won't
update.
change the battery, they will fix the battery.
All right, we got to leave it there. Daniel Breton is the president and CEO of Electric Mobility Canada. His new book, 50 Myths and Half-Truths About Electric Vehicles, is available on the Electric Mobility Canada website.
And also in French.
Et en français aussi, absolutely. Thank you so much, Daniel. I appreciate it.